Hello, hello, good morning. Happy Friday, November 7th, 2025. Welcome to another episode of the Ted Manila Information Show. TMI Show for short, obviously, because we bring you way too much information. I am Manila Chan. Ted Rall has just joined us from Deprogram with the raid. He'll be joining us in just a moment because, people got to take a potty break in between shows. I can't say I blame him. Because my bladder certainly changed after I had my son. Ted's excuse, I don't know. I know he has a son, but unless he kind of figured out some science 20 some odd years ago that we don't know about, we should ask him about his bladder. So welcome, deprogrammers. If you're sticking around, thank you for doing that. It really does help the program when we get a couple of likes. Even if you don't stick around, please hit that like button because it does help the program continue to grow. It helps me and Ted and John. We're all, one big group of friends. So it really does help for every thumbs up that we can get. We do this live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please do share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And there's Ted. Ted, we were just saying how, I have an excuse for a smaller bladder or a messed up bladder because I had a kid, and after I had a kid, after a giant pregnancy, kind of squishing on my bladder for almost a year, we were wondering what your excuse was.
Okay, so I'm 62. So what happens is, and I had my first urologist visit like 2 years ago, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was kind of like, I don't understand. Like, I used to stand, outside. I could pee like 15 feet. I had like incredible like powers, and it was like, and also
that was like a stream. The stream, you mean? The stream would reach.
Yeah, I was a monster. And it's
what is this, like a fire hydrant? Like
it was crazy. And then and that just diminished over time. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then because that's the guy way, like, okay, whatever. And then like ultimately, I was just like, you're done peeing, and you're like, okay, I'm done. Then you're like on the subway, and suddenly it's like dribble down your pants. You're like, oh fuck.
No.
And then
really?
yeah, you start to worry, right? So finally I I was like, oh, maybe you don't have a going problem. You have a growing problem. I thought I had a prostate issue, right? So, and it's like my father-in-law died of prostate cancer. And so I kind of like, obviously there's no genetic link, but I still was like, it's very common. I read somewhere that your percentage odds as a guy of getting prostate cancer is the same odds as your age. So if you live to be 100, you get it, right?
Really?
So, yeah, basically everybody gets it.
So basically, you basically have
if you live long enough, you'll probably get it, right? So,
okay.
And then it just becomes something you manage. So anyway, I decided out of an abundance of caution to go get it tested. Anyway, everything's cool. He's like, oh, you have like your prostate's like, you have a prostate of a 25-year-old man. It's like, it's not enlarged at all.
It's healthy.
And I'm like, oh, it's due to clean living, clearly. But it was like, but anyway, the point is no problem with the prostate. And it was, what's the point I'm getting? Oh, yeah. And he told me the following story. He goes, look, when you get older, it's just not the same. You don't have as much power, and you have some dribbling that happens. You have to spend a little more time at the urinal. So when you're done, you think you're done. There's like a sort of, but wait, there's more, like the Ginsu knife commercial. And that's kind of like what happens. And he told me this story about going to see a Broadway show, in New York, and that there was a lot, during intermission, everyone runs to the men's and the ladies' rooms, and there's a line. And at some point, he wasn't performing, but he was there in the audience was Robert De Niro, and he was standing in front of the urinal and taking a long time. And someone said, hey, Bobby, hurry the fuck up. There's a giant line back here. And Bobby goes, shut the fuck up. Wait till you're as fucking old as me and see how it is.
Okay. So the characters
he
plays
just
are very
takes
similar to the real life. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, you have to pee like you pee a lot
Often?
more often. Yeah, I used to be like really robust. Like I could go 3-4 hours no pee. Like you
I
know,
used to be able to go like 6-7 hours, no problem. Being a traveling journalist, right? I'd be like on the
sure.
star, I'd be on flights, whatever, like
I could, yeah,
transnational
I could
flights
take the
and
inside seat and not have to worry about
no problem.
bugging
Yeah, me
anyone.
too. I
Yeah.
used to fly cross country back and forth all the time. No problem. Sit in cherry, no problem. As soon as I had my kid, it all changed. I can't even
Oh, I'm
sleep through the
sure. I can't
night.
even
I
imagine the
can't sleep
changes that
through the
happened.
night anymore. Every night I get up once or twice to pee ever since I had a kid. It was like an instant, like my bladder just
It
it's like a
sucks, man.
deflated balloon. It just can't hold anything anymore. It's just
It
I gotta pee all
blows.
the time now. Like all the time.
Well, or it doesn't blow is the problem.
I guess so. But alas, such is aging, Ted. Everything 40 plus, it really does. It really sucks. You gotta sleep right on the correct pillow, or else you're just
Oh,
you're
that's
like,
true.
oh,
Or like if the
everything.
pill, oh yeah,
Everything.
or even stupid shit like, I mean, I could sleep like on the floor when I was like 18, but like now it's like if I don't have silk or satin pillows, it pulls on my little hairs, and then I wake up with a headache, and I'm like, why was I pulling on my hairs in the middle of the night? The pillow tugs on my hairs, and I'm like,
Oh my God, Ted,
or if
that's
I don't
not
have the
cute.
right height of pillow, like if it's too high or it's too low, if it's not just right, like Goldilocks, I get like terrible cramps in my neck crick, or,
Yep.
you know,
That's for everybody 40 plus. Anyone younger that's listening,
don't grow
just take
old.
heed.
Commit suicide before you turn old.
Ted, no,
Okay, don't do
no,
that. Just
no,
kidding.
we're on YouTube.
Right, don't do that.
Those YouTube censors do not allow that kind of joke.
Right, okay.
Especially
Do
I
not
was
do it.
thinking of I was thinking of our oh God, this also happens. You get brain farts after 40. You're just out of nowhere.
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah. Especially given the Cowboys tight end. Did you hear about that? 24-year-old guy.
No, what
I
happened?
guess he had mental health issues. He just scored a touchdown like in Sunday's game. He like won the game for them or something. I don't know. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I don't follow. But 24 years old, dude just unalived himself. The football star.
No.
24 years old. He got in some kind of weird small car wreck and fled the scene or something, and
Oh no.
he
And that's
gave
what
chase.
that
He gave
upset him or
chase.
something?
I guess, yeah, he gave chase. And he crashed the car into it was like the Cowboy Stadium or something, and then there was a foot race, a foot chase, and then he barricaded himself somewhere and unalived himself at 24 years old, and he was a football star. I mean, just literally on Sunday, like won the game for them.
That's insane.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that was the problem, Ted. I think
Well, yeah, he was obviously
How much
not.
you want to bet CTE had something to do with that?
Yeah. God, that
How
sucks.
much you want to bet? 24 years old, big, burly, just healthy looking young man. Just wow. So anyway, that's why I say now is probably not a good time to joke about that because he's a
Okay, I
football star.
apologize for that.
And this poor young kid, like, man, I tell you, dude, the NFL buries a lot of brains, like CTE brain studies.
Yeah, they do.
I guarantee you they know tons more about why, like the mental health issues.
It would be good for them actually to reveal
Address
what they
it.
know, not just because, for football players, but I mean, look, a lot of people get head trauma. I've personally gotten several concussions.
Me too.
Concussions. Yeah, no, I mean, in stupid ways. I mean, car accident. My head went. My head went through the window. Stuff like
I got
that.
subdural hematoma.
Ooh,
that's brain swelling. No, it actually wasn't that horrible, but it was visible in the CT scan. But anyway, yeah, there's
so
like
you didn't get
I had some
hydrohead.
brain injuries. No, I've
like
seen.
You didn't end up looking like Charlie Brown.
Oh no! I know people. Okay, there's microcephaly and hydrocephaly.
Right.
That's the big.
So many cephalies.
So many cephalies. Anyway,
Collect them
that
all.
wasn't on.
Or don't.
Please don't. That's not on the docket today. So anyway, we've dilly-dallied enough, but it is Fun Friday, and you never know what goes on Fun Friday. So again, if people are new to the show, this is like a weird, we do talk about news topics, but on Fridays especially,
we do.
It's just off the rails. So I think with that, Ted, we should probably get to what's on the actual docket.
Absolutely.
All right. All right, Ted. I've got this first story here, and literally,
this time I actually have the rundown ready to go, so I'm good.
You should have that because the ones that were chosen for you are very applicable to you specifically, and this one is applicable to me because I live here. Because now I've got all kinds of ideas. I can't advocate for these ideas that are going through my head because we're on YouTube also. But I think anyone that follows the show has an idea of where my brain is going with this new ruling. So the DC man who threw a sandwich at a federal agent, an ICE agent, in what he called an act of protest this summer, was found not guilty of federal assault charges. Jurors found Sean Dunn not guilty of one misdemeanor assault charge on Thursday in the federal courts in D.C. Outside the courthouse, Mr. Dunn thanked his legal team and said he was pleased with the jury's finding. Quote, "I am so happy that justice prevails in spite of everything happening. And that night, I believe I was protecting the rights of immigrants. And let us not forget that the Great Seal of the United States says e pluribus unum. That means from many, one. Every life matters, no matter where you came from, no matter how you got here," he said. Mr. Dunn then hugged his lawyers after the foreperson had read the verdict. The jury, which had sandwiches for lunch, Ted, according to a person familiar with jury lunches.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think they were swayed, Ted. I don't know. I feel like causes a bias.
You think Big Sandwich got to them?
Dude, Subway sandwiches, like passing out like free Subway punch cards. I don't know, Ted. I find that
it's possible. Anything's possible.
It is very possible because, there could be a bias there. Like, why weren't you served like lasagna Thursday? Why was the jury served sandwiches?
That's a good question.
I'm just saying that could create a bias. So they deliberated on those charges for several hours Wednesday and Thursday. It was 2 days of deliberation, Ted.
That's crazy.
Mr. Dunn's act, as we know, was caught on video. It turned him into a symbol of resistance to President Trump's law enforcement surge on the district. U.S. Attorney for D.C., Fox News alum Janine Pirro told local news in a statement, "As always, we accept a jury's verdict."
Well, that's mighty white of her.
That is the system within which we function. However,
yes,
law enforcement should never be subjected to assault, no matter how minor. Even children know when they are angry, they're not allowed to throw objects at one another. I mean, fine. I get it. Prosecutors told jurors that Dunn broke the law when he threw his sub sandwich at a U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent on the night of August 10th. One of Dunn's lawyers urged the jury to acquit Mr. Dunn, a former DOJ employee himself. It was a 2-day trial. Defense attorney Sabrina Schroff questioned why the case was brought in the first place. Quote, "A foot-long subway could not and certainly did not inflict any bodily harm. Throwing a sandwich is not a forcible offense." Prosecutors from Janine Pirro's office said Dunn knew he didn't have a right to throw that sandwich at the agent. Quote, "This is not a case. This is not a case about someone with strong opinions," Assistant U.S. Attorney Michael DiLorenzo said. He continued, "It's about an individual who crossed the line. A couple people wearing pins
the sandwich
outside.
Line.
A couple people wearing pins that depicted Dunn in action, and it read "Free DC," told local news that they attended Dunn's trial to express their support. They said, The sandwich guy, he's the hero. He's the spirit of the revolution now against the Trump administration. He expressed what a lot of us feel, which is frustration, says Donna Powell. Her husband compared Dunn's case to the J6 cases for which Trump issued a blanket pardon. Quote, they got off scot-free, basically. Compare that to a guy getting hit with a Subway sandwich. It's night and day, says Mr. Powell.
That's a good point.
CBP agent Gregory Larimore, who was the victim, Ted, Mr. Larimore, he testified that the sandwich, quote, exploded when it struck his chest hard enough. You guys think this is like a Fun Friday joke story, but this is like legit.
Well, it is. It's both true and a major political story at the same time.
It's amazing. It's a gift to the TMI show.
It is.
The agent literally testified saying it exploded when it struck his chest hard enough that he could feel it through his ballistic vest.
I threw the sandwich, but I didn't throw the hamburger.
And here's what he said, Ted. He said, you could smell the onions and the mustard.
Stop!
I'm giving you direct play-by-play
oh my
quotes
God, stop.
from the trial. He said it exploded. He was traumatized. He could smell the onions and the mustard.
Traumatized?
I'll read.
Because he also claimed that all his colleagues and friends told him that they thought it was funny.
So look, so he's saying he could smell the onions and mustard, and allegedly, Ted, I guess he hates onions and mustard. But
that's bullshit. Mustard's so yummy. I love mustard.
I love all kinds of mustard. So Larimore's colleagues jokingly gave him gifts, making light of the incident, which you just alluded, including a sandwich-shaped plush toy, a patch that said "felony footlong," so it was like a custom patch. And Larimore did acknowledge during cross-examination that he did keep the gifts and he did put the patch on his lunchbox.
Yeah, that's like such trauma, right?
So defense attorney,
like I always wear my LA Times T-shirt now.
So the defense attorney says, if someone assaulted you, if someone offended you, would you keep mementos of that assault? Of course not.
Well, first of all, I would say that's bullshit. That's sophistry. I mean, like he is the ice guy here is the victim. I mean, he's allowed to fucking react to it to any way he wants. Right. It's like if a woman is raped and she decides to, later say like, well, actually I had women have had orgasms during rape. Doesn't mean they weren't raped. I mean,
that's very fair point, Ted. I appreciate that. That is very, very fair. So yeah, that's kind of not fair. But the defense attorney, she played the jury, and they won. So Mr. Dunn, but here's the thing. Mr. Dunn
I have a lot of thoughts about this in terms of the analysis and everything, but keep going.
Mr. Dunn was released from custody the same night, but rearrested. I didn't know this, Ted. He was rearrested when a team of armed agents in riot gear raided his home. The White House posted a highly produced propaganda video of the raid on its official X account, says Mr. Dunn's defense attorneys. Mr. Dunn had worked as an international affairs specialist in the DOJ's criminal division. After Dunn's arrest, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced his firing in a social media post that referred to him as, quote, an example.
Oh, do they have to take him back now that he's been found not guilty?
Yeah, I don't know yet.
I would say so. I mean, he certainly can sue for wrongful termination. I mean, the act of which he stood accused. Look, this is America. He was found not guilty. The jury has spoken.
It's true.
He walked. He's entitled to go back to work. I'm sure he's thinking about that.
I don't know that.
There's no question. There is no question. Right?
That brings up a really good point. I don't know. They haven't. I guess there needs to be a follow-up to see. Like, this guy's become like an international hero for a lot of people.
Well, so, no pun intended.
Oh, so his lawyers urged the judge to dismiss the whole case for what they allege
Don't
is
be a zero. Throw
vindictive,
your hero.
allegedly vindictive and selective prosecution. They urged that the posts by Ms. Bondi and the White House showed Dunn was impermissibly targeted for his political speech. Dunn was charged with assaulting, resisting, opposing, impeding, intimidating, and interfering with a federal officer. But
So
now,
all words. So basically, the effort here was to use alliteration starting with the letter I.
yes,
And he wasn't accused of immigrating or
no,
or integrating
no. So this whole thing read like
or
like a Dr.
illiteracy.
This somebody needs to write like a Dr. Seuss kids book about this.
Oh
Ted, I
well,
think you should. You should.
that would be amazing. Of course, this is one of those stories people will forget about like tomorrow, but it is.
It's hilarious.
Look, here's the thing, right? I think what happened here is
So
jury
good.
nullification. The jury didn't appreciate having its time wasted. People literally are taken out of much higher paid jobs and given $40 a day to go serve in a jury. And it's like, this is not the kind of case that makes you feel good about jury duty. You're pissed off. You're like, why is Janine Pirro wasting my time with this bullshit? Was the officer legitimately assaulted? 100%, but they overcharged. My mom
Yeah.
nullified a jury. My mom was had a skinny little kid, 18 years old, arrested for drugs in Dayton, on her jury, and 3 giant steroided 280-pound each cops claimed that he had resisted arrest and assaulted them. And she's like, this kid is like 140 pounds dripping wet. How the fuck did he resist assault? So if they had just, she told me, if they had just charged him with drug stuff, she would have voted to find him guilty because plainly he was. But the fact that they decided to overcharge pissed her off, and she hung the jury. I think that all 12 people here in DC were like, you guys should, this is a waste of time. I also like the fact that they decided to take his Good Samaritan defense, which, so there's a doctrine in the law that you are allowed to commit a crime in order to prevent a crime. Classic example is you're walking by a house and it's on fire and you see a baby is screaming inside. You're allowed to break and enter and trespass in order to save the baby, because it's more important that you save the baby's life than that you not trespass or break and enter into the home. That same doctrine he used successfully here. His lawyer argued that he was that he was not that he was trying to prevent some LGBTQ people from being assaulted by ICE, and therefore. But think about the defense. He's claiming
no. He was outside of a Latin club.
Okay, but I thought it was a LGBTQ Latin club.
No. It was it was a Latin club. I don't know about the LGBT. I hadn't read anything about the LGBT.
But he claimed that he was trying to protect the club, basically.
He was trying to protect the patrons.
Right. But the thing is, ICE. But like, it's so funny, but basically the jury essentially accepted his argument that ICE was engaged in illegal activities. Because if ICE is engaged in legal law enforcement activities, this defense shouldn't work, Manila.
So a couple of things here, Ted. First, I gotta I gotta read Mr. A. Lee in the Rumble chat. If you look there, he says, I heard Americans call Meal Team 6 and the Gravy Seals to come intervene.
But also,
they gotta come intervene. That's
there's
good.
Other legal issues here. But I mean, so basically the jury ruled, essentially, they accepted the argument that ICE was engaged in illegal activities that he was trying to prevent. Because he argued that he threw the sandwich, not as in a fit of pique, but in order to distract them and prevent them from assaulting the Latin people, the Latino people, right?
The Latinos, at the club.
Another important point, Manila, is that now a legal precedent has been established in the District of Columbia.
I was just going to ask about that. What is our new precedent here? Does that mean we can freely food fight in the streets when we see masked
Yes. Well,
mass
certainly
agents.
certainly Subway sandwiches are protected.
So I can't throw like a New York slice at
Well,
somebody
that would
because
that precedent has to be established in court. So,
mm,
but certainly, if you were to go, if you, let's say you have you're going to go protest an ICE raid, and you and your
can I
friends bring
carry a
like
Jimmy John's?
you bring 100 Subway sandwiches. By the way, part of the reason that the prosecution's case fell apart was the testimony that it did not in fact explode upon impact. That in fact there was video evidence that the sandwich landed on the ground still wrapped intact. So therefore,
Love
and probably still edible, I might point out, because I was deeply concerned when this story broke out
it was evidence,
that a
Ted. It
delicious
was
sandwich
evidence.
might have been gone to waste.
It got scooped up for evidence and put away in an
Into
evidence bag.
and
Look,
not eaten at all by any cops at the police station.
Officer Larimore, Ted, how dare you question his testimony under oath? He said it exploded. He felt it thud through his bulletproof vest. First of all, let me.
By the way,
just
how do you think he felt about it? I mean, do you think he had a choice?
What kind of pussy are you? Seriously. Like,
Well,
if
that's
you're
what I
a
was
single
gonna say.
guy, are you ever going to get laid again if you
No,
give
you
that kind of
shouldn't.
testimony to say, like, you were jarred by
You're the
assaulted with a
pussy.
sandwich? Like, what a bitch. Like, you're a little bitch. Like, seriously?
No, you're a
I
sandwich.
would never date you.
Yeah, you're a sandwich cuck.
Yeah, like, seriously? Like, it's one thing to go grab the guy and like rough him up, but then like pursue charges.
Well, what do you think
Come
happened there, right?
on.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Did he file the charges or did the department file the charges?
The department, well, but he has to let them know that happened.
Well,
He
I
didn't
think
say
I think
anything.
it was on television, so everyone knew it happened. I
Well,
mean,
yes and no. I mean,
not to
if he
mention there
told
were
them
there were
no.
hundreds of witnesses, right? I mean, the
Sure,
question.
but if he didn't really pursue it, I'm sure the agency would not have.
Do
But
you think if he had gone and said, "Listen, I don't want to look like a little pussy,"
yes,
you
yes,
know, they would have said, "Okay, really?
and then
Are you
he wouldn't
sure?"
have testified.
You sure Janine Pirro didn't say like, "Now you listen to me, young man.
Well,
We're going
she's like
after
that.
this guy whether you like it or not."
Oh, I'm sure she did. So, and he again, like a cuck, backed down to Janine Pirro, I'm sure.
Well,
So now
there you go.
the whole country is going to view Officer Larimore as like some little wuss that got cowed by a fucking footlong sandwich. And
I know.
I don't know if he's married, God bless, and his wife.
Do you think he would? Do you
okay,
think he would have reacted as? Would he have been scared of a much smaller sandwich, like let's say a
like
BLT?
if it was a 6-inch sandwich?
Yeah, like or a BLT, like a standard BLT.
Or if it was like a McDonald's Big Mac.
But or conversely, can you imagine what about the nuclear attack of like the 3-footer? You know, like
what if the guy was ordering a sandwich? You know, when you go to pick up those custom orders for a party, like a party sub.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Giant. Those things.
I've ordered that for my kid's softball game. Yeah.
I have ordered one of those 6-foot-longs. Like
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like what if? Yeah, but those are actually on like a 6-foot-long board. Like it's on a piece of wood. So
that's true. So that could be even worse.
That could.
It would really probably disintegrate.
Swing it
while being thrown. I would imagine.
Like. I don't know what the new precedent is in DC now because Ted, it's been less than 24 hours. We locals here in the DMV Metro have not been able to process this victory for us yet. So we all have to reconsider henceforth, what is not considered assault.
It's a different world, Manila. Things have changed
Ted,
overnight.
I woke up this morning and I was like, so if people piss me off, I can just get a sandwich. And now there's precedent. And just fucking sling my sandwich.
I think you have to be preventing a harm, right? That's the thing.
I don't know, but now there's precedent in that the sandwich itself is not, Ted, as Attorney Schroff said, is not and could not be a weapon of force.
Well, it was a weapon of mass distraction, right? According to the
that's true.
defense attorney.
So that's, so It's a new world I live in today, Ted. I don't know about you over in New York,
I think it's a
but
better
down here,
world. I mean, look, this has been a great week
pretty
for
cool.
populism. I mean, Dick Cheney died, Mamdani won, and the sandwich guy walks free.
This is, and now I would like to see if he gets his job back. It's
Oh,
ironic that he was at DOJ.
and the healthcare CEO like swooned at the Oval Office.
Oh, is that who passed out?
Yeah, it was like basically one of the guys Luigi didn't get to.
Oh, Ted.
And so
I didn't know. I knew somebody passed out like in
yeah.
front of Trump. I didn't know.
Yeah, it was a
who or
healthcare
what it was.
CEO. And like basically, I'm like thinking,
That's
like
the irony.
now we don't even need Luigi. Now they're literally like just dropping dead on their own. I mean,
so
sadly he didn't die, but like, you know.
Tad.
What?
But you know, well, cameras were there, right? So you know, what kind of healthcare? Which insurance company? Because I'd like to know. Maybe he's not getting good health care.
Well, yeah, well, probably not if he's using his own company.
All right, let's go on to the next one, because this one I've got some thoughts on this one, because I've done this
You've
very
done
thing.
this? Okay. Well, I've
This
never
very
thrown
thing.
this. I did throw.
No, this next story.
I know. I did throw.
I've never food fought though, if that's what you're saying.
I have food fought several
You
times.
have?
Yeah, like there was a
Where?
incident in a hotel room where I food fought against my two roommates, and there was an incident
What?
in my and in high school. There was a food fight in the cafeteria. And let's see what else. What other? And I threw. I don't know if it would count as a food fight. I did throw a carbonated beverage at former New York Mayor Ed Koch. And he gave me the finger from his limousine as
Oh,
I
that's
missed,
hilarious.
and it ricocheted and it bounced off the roof of his limo.
Oh,
as
you
he
know,
pulled
the
into Gracie
closest.
Mansion.
I don't believe in wasting food. Okay,
I'm with you on that. I think you
First
and I
and
have
foremost.
similar ideas about that. But and also,
however, I do think it's mostly a boy. It sounds like a boy thing. But
yeah, it's
boys, I think boys
obviously
do
it's
that.
not the most mature thing you can do.
But I will say I have done the closest I've done to a food fight is in a fit of road rage in Los Angeles.
Uh-oh.
I had a cup of hot coffee. Not quite.
Oh, wow. Hot coffee. You could hurt someone with that shit.
And I don't remember what they did to me, but I kept pace with them. And when we came up to the next stop, I was shouting at him. It was a guy. And I was shouting at him. He opened the window to shout back at me. And I just slung my hot coffee into his car at him and sped off. I was
you could seriously have caused burns that way. You could seriously have hurt him.
I was very angry, Ted. That is the closest I've ever gotten to throwing any edible anything.
God, remind me not to cut you off in traffic. Jesus
But
Christ.
he wronged me, and I honked at him, and then he like flipped me off, and that just like
that sent you
I blew
over
a gasket.
The edge.
Yeah, and then I was like in a little red sports car, and he was like in some, I don't know, like a Ford Explorer.
What were you driving, a Miata?
No, a red Toyota, a 90. I don't remember, 94 maybe, 94 Toyota Celica GTS stick shift. Turbo. And I was like, oh, you mother. And I was like, I sped up to him, caught up with him. And I made sure I weaseled my way to the front so I was right in line with him so I could. And then that was it. I shouted at him. He rolls down the window because he sees I'm just a little small Asian girl. So he's like, whatever he says. And then I was like, surprise, bitch.
Out west, Asians are considered to be pussies, even though they're not. But correct. Like, that's just how they're viewed.
And nerd, yes, I am a gangster. That's the closest I've ever gotten to wasting any food.
I bet he was surprised.
Yes.
By the way, this is not recommended behavior. Do not do what Manila
does. I'm just sharing how
this
wild.
Happened a long time ago.
Look, in my early 20s.
When you were young and spicy.
I was young and spicy, and yes, East LA style Manila.
And
that's
wrong,
just,
I might add.
definitely wrong. I would never, like, I would be pissed if my kid did that. Like, it's so dangerous, and like, who knows who's
It's
packing
not
heat?
worth
Who
it. It's
knows?
not important. Let
No.
it go.
But I was young and in my 20s, and not only did I waste food, which is a core value of me to not do. Number one. Number two, you never know who's packing heat. Like, it's freaking LA, but
Yeah,
that's not
that's
what I
true.
was thinking.
In New York, it really isn't important. You can road rage and give the
Yeah,
finger to
yeah.
people, and people are literally, their heart rate didn't go up by 0.1
Right.
beats per minute, because everyone's like, like out west, people say,
Well, you guys are all in the
good morning,
bathroom yelling "fuck
and they
you" at
mean,
Robert De Niro. Like,
yeah, exactly. And and Bobby De Niro wasn't bothered. No one cares. It's like,
right. He's like, "Fuck you. I'm pissing here." Like,
yeah, everyone's just like,
but
fuck you. Well, no, fuck you. I'll tell you to fuck
right.
you. Yeah.
And in Los Angeles, it's a different environment, and especially like in the late 90s, it was something else, Ted. That's all I'll say. It was
No,
something else.
that's
I
true.
was something else. We'll just leave it at that, but that's the closest I've ever gotten. But do not do what Manila do.
Do not follow the way of the Manila.
Don't do. Okay, this next one though,
All right. A
I
new
would say
national
do.
poll finds that a lot of young people are thinking about leaving the United States for good. According to a new Talker research survey, frustration about the economy, politics, and the overall mood of the nation is pushing young people to look to leave the United States. 63% of adults under the age of 35 say they've seriously considered leaving the US because of the country's direction. 53% of their parents say the same thing. Nearly half of all Americans say the current state of the nation is toxic. Who are the other half? I mean, who could say it's not toxic? 17% say they're actively planning or preparing to move abroad within a few years. I mean, I call bullshit on that. That's not true. I mean, like actively
Everyone
planning.
said
Really? You're
they're leaving if
packing?
Trump wins.
Yeah, it's like,
Remember?
all right, Alec Baldwin,
All right.
whatever. And 1 out of 4 respondents say they no longer believe the American dream is achievable. Researchers say the pattern points to a deeper economic and cultural fatigue, a sense that the cost of living, political division, and social unrest are eroding optimism about the future. Sociologist Dr. Alex Rivera says, we've never seen this level of disillusionment in modern polling. It's not rebellion. Yeah, that's true. Well, we don't have rebellion. It's resignation. Still, experts say that most of those who are dreaming of departing probably won't go anywhere because they're tied down by their family, their jobs, and finances. But the data itself is the message. Younger people are really, really bummed out about America. So I agree that's the takeaway here, Manila. The takeaway is not that people are getting ready to hoof it. The takeaway is that people are really depressed, and that's going to manifest in things like election results.
Pause that thought, because we have to get to our first sponsor of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that.
Go ahead.
And then we'll get to our opinions on those statistics.
Cool.
All right. All right. And our sponsor today on the screen, looking for smarter ways to browse and enjoy your favorite content without ads? Get the Perplexity Pro bundle with Rumble Premium for just $19.99 a month when you sign up before December 31st, normally a $29.99 value. With Rumble Premium, you'll get an ad-free viewing experience across all your devices and access to exclusive premium content. No interruptions, just the videos and streams that you love anytime, anywhere. Plus, Perplexity Pro boosts your productivity with unlimited research, unlimited uploads, exclusive member perks, and access to the latest and most advanced AI models for faster, smarter answers every day. Save 30% on this powerful bundle. Head over to rumble.com/premium before December 31st to sign up and unlock your premium experience. All right. So I lived abroad. I was in my 20s. I would recommend it because this thing was, 63% of adults under 35. That was me in my late 20s. Go explore the world. Go do it. Go live somewhere else. And
Why did you like it?
Oh, well, I liked it not only because it expanded my career and gave me all these new fresh experiences, but at the same time, believe it or not, because of some of my experiences there, I came back with a newfound respect for the US that I didn't have, and a new appreciation,
Well,
that
in what respect?
well, I don't know if we so much have it anymore, but still more than other places, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, like one of
Mm-hmm.
the foundational, and you kind of need that when you're a journalist.
Yeah, I used to really love my freedom of speech when I had it.
Yeah, I
It
used
was
to
great.
when we had it. It was really great. I really enjoyed it, and I missed it when I was abroad. And it's been, for the past 15 years, we've been tearing away at that very thing that I came when I moved back to the country. I appreciated, but anyway, for the good parts of living abroad, yes, like who cares what the political landscape was or is, right? Like I left during the election year at the very end of Bush, right? And I was abroad when Obama won.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see I could it was visceral and obvious how people treated me differently when Bush was still, before the elections, when Bush 2 was still in office,
Mm-hmm.
and then suddenly Barack Hussein Obama wins. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the Middle East, and they saw my American passport as I'm traveling wherever throughout the Middle East, and they can't, they're Arabic speakers, they can't speak English, but they see that I'm an American, and as they're stamping my passport, they're like, "Oh, America, USA, Barack Obama, yes, yes, Barack Obama," and I'm little did they know, right, Ted?
Yeah, yeah,
Little
yeah,
did they
yeah.
know.
Little did many people know. I mean, I knew,
I
but
know,
yeah,
and I'm over here like, yes, Barack Obama,
he number one,
USA,
so great.
USA, you
Yeah,
okay, if that's what you want to hear from me, yes, yes, Barack Obama. Um, but people treated me differently after Barack Obama won by virtue of me being an American and him being newly minted president. It was different. I wonder if now, if people are fleeing, like let's say to the Great White North, because a lot of these celebrities really, I'm going to Canada. Rosie O'Donnell is one of the people. It's like I'm going to Ireland to my Irish roots.
well, she
That's
went.
where she
She
is.
did go.
She went.
She's gone.
She
She's
went.
gone, daddy gone.
Ellen
So she wasn't
DeGeneres
full of
too.
shit.
No, she went. Ellen DeGeneres, I think, moved somewhere to the UK. I don't know if she's like in England or I'm
Well,
not sure where.
in fairness, Ellen DeGeneres had to leave because the entire United States hates her now.
Do they? I don't even know why. Like, why? Is
Don't
that
you
a
remember?
thing?
Because of the stuff that came out about what a fucking terrible boss she is, and
Is that why they all
she's a
hate
fucking mean bitch, basically,
her?
and no one can stand her ass because it turns everyone. The thing is, it goes so counter to brand, right? She presented herself as like, "Hi, look at me, Ellen DeGeneres
Yeah,
with
yeah,
my
yeah.
cute little smile," and then it's like turns out that she's just this horrible witch.
Isn't that
It's sort of like what
terrible?
happened to Amy Klobuchar. Remember when Amy Klobuchar was running in the primaries and the New York Times outed her as like a horrible, mean boss. And
Well, you can kind of see it though.
and she'll never be president because of that article.
I mean, but Hillary's that way too, and I know people from firsthand
Is that true
experience
about
tell
Hillary?
me, yeah, that she's a fucking witch. And I've interviewed. I told you this story before.
Bill is a fucking witch. He's a fucking asshole.
I don't know about Bill, but I know
He yells at people. He's a dick.
Hillary used to beat up Bill, and she basically used to shit on people that she considered lower than her, that were like servants to her. And I'm talking about these guys when
Wait,
she
you
was
say beat
Secretary of
up? You mean
State.
physically, like
Yeah, physically.
like Mrs. Macron?
Yes, physically assaulted Bill on multiple
What?
occasions. Yeah, I had word from I interviewed when I was in the Middle East.
This is kind of big news for the TMI show.
No, I've said this on the show before.
That's
I
not true.
interviewed many years ago. It is true. I
It's not
interviewed
true.
many
You've
years
never said it to
ago
me.
a secret. Yes, you were here. Then you weren't paying attention. A Secret
I would have
Service
paid
agent I
attention to that.
interviewed.
No
A
way.
Secret Service agent I interviewed for the magazine I worked at disclosed to me, and he asked not to be named because he moved to Dubai at that point. He disclosed to me that on several occasions they in the residential wing of the White House that many times, like in the study or whatever, there are several occasions that they could hear Bill and Hillary arguing and fighting, things being smashed and broken, and Bill would come out with like scratches on his neck or on his face.
What?
Yeah. And like
That's
lamps would
really
be
horrible. I mean, when
broken.
you really think about it, he was abused as a child by his fucking
Oh,
wicked
was he?
fucking his step. That's his foundational thing. He grew up in that trailer home with his mom, his
Oh.
mom was a tramp who basically brought home all
Oh.
sorts of gross dudes all the time. It's like leave
Oh.
$20 on the nightstand for the rent, that kind of thing.
Oh,
And
he
like
really I thought that was
she was a
kind of I don't know.
skank, and they basically,
I
and
knew he had a
she
rough
and the
upbringing.
boyfriend, and she, more to the point, she would always stand by and let the boyfriend beat her and him. And then finally one
And
day
little Billy?
little Billy, and then yeah, I mean, he's literally
Oh.
a child of trauma, which explains a lot about him.
Oh,
You
I
know,
didn't know. I never, I was never that interested in like, but yeah, but then he has that charisma and ladies' man charm. But anyway, but with Hillary, she supposedly had a steady upbringing. But yeah, look, I heard from that retired Secret Service man from the Clinton era. He said on multiple occasions, and I wrote an article about it. And it stuck with me because I wrote
well,
an article.
how come this is like not, it never, why do you think sometimes you write a story like that, which is like a blockbuster, and it just doesn't go anywhere? I mean, that's happened to me. It's happened to
This
you.
was in
Like, what
a
happens here?
major
That's a fucking major fucking,
GC.
I mean, that should have been on the front page of every newspaper in the
Nobody picked
world.
it up. And
Yeah,
this
no
was
one
like
cares.
2008.
What do you think?
So
What do you think causes
nobody
that?
picked it up. It was
Well, why do you
almost
think
20
that
years
is?
ago.
Why?
Nobody ever picked it up.
Manila,
I
why?
don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Um because it was like in a men's like lifestyle magazine maybe. They didn't take it seriously. Maybe people didn't see it. I don't know. I mean, it was 2008. It wasn't how things are now. Like things couldn't go viral back then. It didn't exist, you know? This is 2008. It's almost 20 years
That's
ago.
true. Social media didn't really exist, right? I mean, well,
So,
did
no.
it? Did it? I
I mean,
mean,
it was there, but
Facebook
nobody not like this.
existed, but not like in the same way.
No, it's not it wasn't like this. Life was still mostly analog. Put it this way, the magazine that I worked for had a website, but you couldn't read even all the articles. Like there was no such thing as vertical integration in 2008. That
Right.
didn't exist. They were still experimenting with that bullshit fake, like you remember you have to like open the magazine if you're a subscriber, open the magazine, and then it's like a fake digital magazine, and it opens and then it has the stupid page turning sounds.
Oh God. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that cheesy. So this is back then. Think about how much things have changed. So the fact and because this wasn't like it wasn't a feature article in the magazine, believe it or not. It was literally like a column length in the greater story. The bigger story that I was writing about was abused men. It was about abused men. That was the crux of the
Well,
article was
you need to send that to me because I'm
abused
interested
men.
in that
I
topic.
don't have the digital copy. I'm looking at my magazine clip out
Mm,
book, and it's
mm.
it's literally um
If you ever come across the print edition, take a good scan of it and send it to me.
I should I'm staring at my clip book over there, but yeah, that's the Secret Service man mentioned that. So it was like a small thing. There were a lot of celebrities actually that I verified from assistants or whatever, because this was like a premier lifestyle magazine in Dubai in the Gulf Coast, right? Like it's a big magazine. Bobby Brown, but I mean, again, I
Wasn't
couldn't.
Bobby Brown also an abuser too?
Yes, but apparently she abused him too.
Ooh, interesting. Ah,
Whitney
so
abused him back.
I
So
can't say that that's terribly surprising.
yeah. So there's apparently all kinds of, you know, she abused back. They were both
Dysfunction abounds, man.
yeah. So but anyway, the whole point is Hillary could never win either because she's a well-known wicked witch. I know Green Berets who had to like take care of her basically when she was out when she was Secretary of State and she was in Afghanistan maybe, or maybe it was Iraq. I
Mm.
can't remember which country, but they were minding her safety and she treated them like her New York doorman. Like literally, she was like Leona fucking Helmsley, like shitting on people like doormen. That's how
Really?
she treated. Yeah. That's how she was treating like these super soldiers that are literally there, elite soldiers to protect her safety. She was like pissed. Like, I got examples of like, she literally expected somebody to lay something over a puddle so she can walk over it instead of walking around because it was a large, like a pool of water. She wasn't going to walk around. Then she actually asked somebody at one point, well, then one of you needs to carry me.
Wow.
So, yeah. So apparently she was like a raging bitch.
Well, all right. Well,
So that's why she'll never be president.
well, she won't be. Yeah, she doesn't like humans is part of the problem.
Yes. And I think that comes across.
And it's like if you don't like humans, it's kind of hard to be elected to high office.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think that comes across. So, like, so there you go. Hillary is a fucked up woman, lady, mean lady, apparently. And Bill has a fucked up history and is, a philanderer. So there you go.
Well,
So
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
It takes two, right? So,
Well, it doesn't
anyway,
always take two.
not always, but in this particular, when you're in a power couple like that, it does take two.
You think?
Yes, when you're a powerful couple like that, yeah, it's both of you. Both of you are going to be fucked
So
up.
you're saying
in
they
your own...
have like a Liz Burton, Richard
Oh, yeah.
Burton, Liz Taylor
Yes.
kind of vibe going.
That's absolutely right.
Without the glamour.
Sans the glamour and style.
Yeah, yeah.
Or any likability.
All right.
So, all right. Here's another. I've got another. Oh, I'm doing more court cases, Ted.
Do it. All right. Great. I love.
So this one,
I love court cases.
So this one, SCOTUS has allowed. This is a Robbie. This is a Robbie story. This is when we need a Robbie.
Back. He'll be back a week after next.
But also yesterday, another big court thing in DC. SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, has allowed the Trump administration to only issue passports indicating biological sex, not gender identity.
Such a Robbie story.
This is a Robbie story. Quote, displaying passport holders' sex at birth no more offends equal protection principles than displaying their country of birth. In both cases, the government is merely attesting to a historical fact without subjecting anyone to differential treatment, says the court statement, SCOTUS said. Judge Julia E. Kobik, a Biden appointee in Massachusetts, had issued an order in June instructing the government to allow transgender identifying citizens to choose their own sex designation. The Trump administration asked the Supreme Court to block the injunction in September, arguing that passports are, quote, official government documents addressed to foreign nations. The lower court's, quote, grant of class-wide relief enjoins enforcement of an executive branch policy with foreign affairs implications concerning a government document, the Supreme Court wrote, finding the government likely to ultimately succeed. Justices Ketanji Brown Jackson and Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan, they of course dissented, quote, absent an injunction, the plaintiffs and the classes of transgender Americans they represent are forced to make a difficult choice that no other Americans face: use gender incongruent passports and risk harassment and bodily invasions on the one hand, or avoid all activities, travel, opening a bank account, renting a car, starting a new job that may require a passport on the other, Jackson wrote. The harm to these individuals from having to make that choice before their legal challenges have even been resolved is palpable, she said. President Trump issued a day one executive order on gender ideology, which stated that passports should, quote, accurately reflect the holder's sex. Under the Biden administration, the State Department announced that it would allow applicants to choose their own gender and offer passports with an X gender designation. Attorney General Pam Bondi wrote on X, speaking of, that the ruling was the DOJ's 24th victory at SCOTUS at the emergency docket. Quote, today's stay allows the government to require citizens to list their biological sex on their passport. In other words, there are two sexes, and our attorneys will continue fighting for that simple truth. So Ted, I agree with that. I think it's bullshit that people in certain municipalities can actually go back to their city hall and change their birth certificate. Like, when you're talking about legal documents and not only that, but then it carries over into, like, let's say the world of news. If somebody commits a crime and they present as something else other than their biological sex, the news won't even say the suspect is this race or this gender or this whatever. That they don't want to go into that minefield, right?
Mm.
And that becomes like a public safety issue. This case is like, okay, your freaking passport is your private document. The only people that see it is when you're going through the TSA. They're verifying your identity. It's a legal document. And in this instance, I'm actually with the Trump administration. I think that's the right thing. I don't think you can go backwards in time and rewrite facts and history. Like, you're born what you are, and then the social construct of how you want me to address you. If I'm not a shitty person, I'll address you as you wish. Whatever pronoun, as you wish. If you want me to call you the Dalai Lama, I'll call you the Dalai Lama because I'm not a shitty person. I don't want to make you sad. I don't want to make you angry. Manila will call you whatever pronoun you freaking want. But when it comes to legal documents, it is legally binding and there are ramifications. And I think Pam Bondi was actually right that this is how you present to other countries. This is a passport. I think you can't go backwards in time and change your birth certificate. You can't go and choose your own adventure, as the Biden administration had allowed for those few years, on your passport. So I'm with the Trump administration on this one.
Well, I'm not. And the reason is because I think what the question here is, what is the purpose of a passport, right? The purpose of a passport is to provide a verifiable identity and affiliation to a citizen of the United States when they travel overseas, and to make sure that foreign authorities know who they are and give them the proper respect when they arrive, and that the United States knows who they are. Look, I'm going to lead with the lead for once. The lead is, why is this information necessary? Why is it important to know someone's gender or sex at all on their passport? It's not important. I mean, what matters to me is not that, like, Laotian Chinese American Manila Chan is age 40 something, is coming to my country. What matters to me is just Manila Chan, no criminal record, from the United States, is entering my country. I don't care about Manila's political affiliation, although I might want to know that. I don't. If I'm a border guard in Bolivia, I just want to know that you are a U.S. citizen, that you are authorized to travel, and that you have a visa. Think about the shit that's not on your passport. Your weight isn't on your passport. It is on your driver's license. I don't know why it's on your driver's license.
Not in Virginia.
But why it is in New York.
I don't know. California it was.
I don't, or maybe it isn't anymore, but it used to be. It's like, I don't know why I'm not sure. Like, your height's not on your passport, right? Or maybe it is. Maybe your height is on your passport. But the point is that, like, which was very funny to me when my kid was born and I got him a passport, and it's like, height 26 inches.
My son too.
Yeah, height. I mean, at that point, do you really have height when you're just lying down
all the time? My son's first passport, his picture depicts his dad's hands holding him under his armpits.
By the way, I had to bring the baby both to the French consulate and to the American and to the post office. And I'm like, they're like, we have to see the baby. I'm like, they all look the same. Like, I mean, like, it's like ridiculous. It was like, I did a whole cartoon called Al Qaeda, about like a terrorist organization
Al Qaeda,
based on kids. Anyway, after all, they have the jungle gyms and everything. I don't know. It's so I don't think this serves any purpose. I don't think that, like, but I could definitely see the harm that this could do to trans people. So I do understand the confusion that can be caused. Let's say someone presents like I do as a male, and then, but I identify as a female on my passport. That's definitely going to cause like Russian passport control to be like, what's up? On the other hand, let's say I fully physically transitioned and I look like a hot chick and I present at the border and it's like male. It's like, but you're a hot chick. Oh, and then like, and let's say you present at the border of a country that's very transphobic, which there are many, sure. and like,
would you be going there though if you're a trans person?
Well, you'd be more likely to go if you had a passport that said you were a chick, right? I mean, you'd be more likely. I agree that it would be fraud, but at least you're like, well, if I can really pass, like, who's gonna know, right? So. But this outs you. It's gonna stick you up. So I can really argue this both ways about like how it can cause confusion, but it can either version can cause confusion. That's why I think the best thing to do. I mean, it was weird. I remember when I think it was the Obama administration introduced the X, M, F, or X, and it was like, but that was weird. So we're past that now. But honestly, I don't see the purpose. I mean, I think honestly, name, date of birth, which
more or less
you might not even need that. You really only need an ID number. That's really kind of all you need. That's the only way they need to know who you are.
Seeing as
they don't
how
need anything else.
Things are the way they are on the American passport.
I think it's a legacy thing, and I don't know that we need it. I could see
why you need the male-female thing is like, let's say Manila Chan, I told you about crime, like Manila Chan, fine, I'm going to China and now I'm going to run off. I'm going to smuggle a bunch of kids out of there. Right.
Okay. So you're a human trafficker.
But now I'm going to I'm human trafficking and now I'm presenting as a dude but you don't know like what. Am I a woman? Am I a man? So like in the case of people,
be more clear. So you are you, and your passport says that you're a guy. Is that what you're saying?
No, if my passport says a guy, and then I present like a woman, like you don't know, the police don't know who they're looking for. Like there's a whole bunch of.
Yeah, they do because they're going to be
crime-wise.
they're going to know exactly who they're looking for because they're going to be like they have your picture. They're going to be like Manila Chan looks like this. Right here.
Well-dressed nerd.
In fact, we took her high-resolution picture at Beijing International Airport.
I can get work done. I can change my appearance as trans people tend to do. So, nerd, thank you for the donation. Nerd, if you could see on the screen, Ted says, Ted is wrong as always. LOL. Passport doesn't specify criminal record. Sex is necessary for identification. Sex, height,
Interpol,
race, all identifying factors. We can't live in an imaginary world for feelings. I agree with that. Like, look, it's just for identification.
I guess that's right, but I'm waiting for someone to answer me why this information is needed on a passport in the first place.
I just said why, because should you go abroad and commit crimes, like how are they going to like?
Person. Okay, listen. You're in China.
There's more people committing crimes than there are trans people.
You are.
Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Ted, can we agree on that?
100%.
Can we agree that more people traveling to any country, any foreigner to any other country in the world, there's more of them committing crimes in foreign lands that are not their national home,
mostly non-trans.
That
overwhelmingly non-trans.
Then there are trans people in the world. Period.
Okay. Sure. What's your point?
So that is my point, is that people are committing crimes. And as part
That's not a point.
I
That's a
agree.
statement.
I agree. No, I agree with nerd. This is a means to identify.
You're just repeating
And so
yourself. You're not explaining yourself. Like
that
what
is
is
the explanation. Is if you're a cop, Ted Rall is 6'3". He has salt and pepper hair, white male. So they know they're not looking for a 5'5" small Asian presenting female or Asian presenting
Manila?
person with long hair.
If you
They're
go
not
commit
going
a
to confuse
crime
a Ted Rall with
in
a
another
Manila Chan.
country, you have crossed international border crossing. You have entered another country. They have your name. Okay. So first of all, if they have your name and your ID number and you're wanted for a crime, nothing prevents the authorities in China from calling up their US counterparts and saying, tell us about Manila Chan. And then they say sure. And they give them everything. Also, even if they don't have good cooperation, let's say you go visit North Korea and they can't call the United States. But the point is, let's say you when you arrive at Pyongyang, they have your photo. They have a photo of you walking through the airport, a video. They know how tall you are. They know what you look like. They know what your race is. They know probably roughly how much you weigh. What more do they need? They know what you look like, whether you're wearing, whether you're long hair, short haired, whether you have lipstick, no lipstick, cowboy hat, sombrero, anything.
To Ray in the Rumble Room says, not everyone has good intentions, Ted. And that is true. And people
That's
can have
that doesn't
great disguises.
Please address my point, which is
I did. Great disguises.
My point is that they know what you look like. They know what they can say.
You can change what you look like.
We're looking for a trans lady.
The whole point of transitioning.
Okay, anyone can change the way they...
Ted,
Manila,
you look like a dude right now. You look like a dude right now. Yes or no? You look like a... Wait, answer me. No, let me answer. You want an answer from me, so help me get there.
Go.
You look like a dude right now. I'd agree to that. Do you?
Yes, I think so.
You look like a dude. Okay, so you start growing out your hair, or maybe you put on a wig. You get a nose job. You start doing the whole Bruce Jenner. Right? Now you're Caitlyn Jenner.
Now I'm Caitlyn, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now you're Caitlyn. You went from Bruce
and I'm a beautiful, albeit big boned.
You're a beautiful 6'5", 240-pound triathlon winner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Olympian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
That's right.
In a glamorous dress.
A lot of people say that about me.
Look, if Caitlyn Jenner wasn't a famous person, do you really think a non-famous Bruce Jenner if he wasn't, I mean, it's hard for people to imagine because Bruce Jenner has been famous for 45 years, but removing Bruce Jenner's fame, how confused, if Bruce Jenner went and committed a crime presenting as Caitlyn Jenner, how can, somewhere in the process, you have now committed crimes and now you've changed what you look like. How many people would actually know that Bruce Jenner is Caitlyn Jenner if barring the fame? You can really change what you look like a lot.
But Manila,
a lot.
Anyone can change the way they look like. So the question.
That's
wait.
Your
the
point. Your point of saying, oh, they know what you look like.
Well,
no, they don't, because you can change drastically what you look like.
A passport is issued today. Let's say and it lasts for what, 5 years? So let's say in 2 years, between now and 2 years from now, when I go visit Uzbekistan, I change my appearance. I could change my appearance in any number of ways. I can change my appearance to be a woman or a different type of looking guy. The point is that the only thing that is for sure is what you looked like when you entered that country, unless you changed your appearance after you enter that country.
And that is my point.
But
I can smuggle and come out.
That M or that F on your passport is not going to fucking help the authorities track you down. Right?
No, really?
How?
DNA? When you commit crimes?
So by the time I'm going to argue that by the time they know to collect your DNA, what are they doing? Do you think they're scraping everyone's DNA in the entire country all day long? No, they have to get your DNA. They have to already know it's you.
They have your DNA, Ted. They have
Okay,
our
well,
DNA,
okay,
at
but
least in
they might have
America.
your DNA, but they don't
In
know
in
they don't
America.
know that they don't have the DNA that matches to you. The point is, how do they
So
identify you?
I just think any kind of identifying documentation should have all your vital statistics, and I don't think it's in this
Well,
day and
the
age.
U.S. passport does not.
The argument, Ted, let me finish. Let
U.S.
me finish.
passport
The
doesn't even
argument,
have
let me
your
finish.
address on it.
Let me finish. The argument here from the dissenting members of SCOTUS, the judges on the bench are saying this basically runs the risk of the trans person being what? Judged by TSA? Who gives
No,
a
they don't care about TSA.
That's basically what the
It's about
statement
being
says.
judged by Saudi TSA. Okay, that's the
So
risk of being judged.
so
Well, you
here
tell me how
it is.
you know how nice the
Let me find
Saudis
the
are.
comment.
They're adorable. How do you
Comment.
think they'll fucking handle you when you cross the border and
Look,
they figure out that you're a trans person?
If you aren't wise enough to not go to a place where clearly somebody of your position is not wanted, go at your own risk. That's like your own.
That's
That's everybody
absurd.
traveling.
Okay,
No,
that's
that was me as a
absurd.
journalist living in the freaking Middle East.
Listen, that's
I opened my
true.
big fat mouth at my own risk, at my own peril,
Yes,
and was held at
I thought that
gunpoint many
David Pearl
times
was a
because of
fucking
it.
and I thought David Pearl was a
Daniel
retard to Daniel Pearl was a retard for having gone to Pakistan. But the point is that like which is the biggest, it's ground zero for anti-American
Sure.
jihadism in the world, right?
But he thought he was going to go interview some, jihadi that was going to talk to him.
He was a fucking idiot. But the U.S. government
go at your own risk.
Should be in the business. The U.S. government's not in go at your own risk. The U.S. government's supposed to protect its citizens as much as possible. That's his job. That's his fundamental job of the U.S. government.
Should the U.S. government have barred Daniel Pearl from going? Should the U.S. government bar anybody from going anywhere?
No, but I think the point is the U.S. government shouldn't have stamped like a Star of David on his passport, for example, which is what you're suggesting.
Wait, because Daniel Pearl, because they know he's a man, or because
they
know he's an American?
It's a scarlet T, right? To basically give someone their sex assigned at birth on their passport, triggering an alert.
You can't compare Daniel Pearl to a trans person. You can't compare Daniel Pearl, a Wall Street Journal journalist,
if they had stamped,
traveling to Pakistan.
Would it have been right to stamp Jew on his passport when he's traveling? No, because
but that's not
and
what
maybe
happened.
if
that's why I'm saying you're comparing apples to
Jews
oranges.
are not welcome in Pakistan. He shouldn't have gone to Pakistan. He shouldn't have gone. And he was very Jewish looking, and he had an Israeli passport stamp. He had an Israeli passport stamp in his passport, which is why he got fucking busted and killed and decapitated on video.
That was
he had
dumb
an Israeli
of him.
passport stamp.
That was dumb of him.
He stamped himself
at his
own. But the U.S.
risk.
government didn't expose him. He exposed him.
Same thing I would say to any trans person. I have friends who are trans. If one of them were stupid enough to say, "I want to go to Saudi Arabia," I'd be like,
Yeah, I know.
Honey,
I would be the first.
I think no.
To all trans people and LGBT people, do not fucking go to Saudi Arabia. That said, like the U.S. government should be making people who do choose to go to Saudi Arabia should be making their lives as easy as possible, not as hard as possible. And if people want to make dumb decisions, that's on them. But their government shouldn't be making their lives harder. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think there's anything wrong. This isn't a subjective reality. I just told you what's wrong with it.
It's literally imperiling people's lives.
So factual descriptors of who you are.
Okay, so like French passports.
I mean, that's
okay. So factual. German passports during German ID cards under Nazism stamped J for Jew on people's IDs. Well, it was just factual. What's the harm in stamping I mean, putting a
But
Star of
that's
David
not
on,
what.
is putting a
That's not
star,
the.
on, forcing Jews
But
to
the
wear a
trans
Star of
people
David.
are not trying
It's
to
just
go to Saudi
factual.
Arabia.
It's just
Trans
factual.
people are not trying to travel there. They're not trying to travel to Al Sharaz new version of whatever Syria is today. Trans people are not trying to travel there. They're trying to travel like to Rio de Janeiro for
Well,
Mardi
there's
Gras. So
transphobia in
that
Brazil.
they're not. Their transphobia. Now, see, Tad, now you're just reaching the tentacles of like these like liberal talking points. There's transphobia every fucking where. I'm sure if I went on my street right here in Alexandria, Virginia, I'm sure I could find some transphobics.
I'm sure you're right.
So transphobia, that's a hooey argument. You can find transphobia anywhere. My point is,
go ahead.
My point is, as much as like I support gay rights, gay marriage, if you want to adopt kids, provided you're not, you have no criminal history or whatever, especially like
that's
with
true about anybody,
sexual.
right?
I don't care what your gender ideology is. I don't care how you identify. I don't care, who you love. I don't care. That's to me, I don't care. But your legal documents need to accurately reflect who you are. Accurately. And who your biology is part of your accurate description.
Wrong, and you need to admit it here.
No, you didn't.
It's a 2-point thing.
No, you didn't.
Number one.
No, you didn't.
Number one.
You so did not.
No purpose, no practical positive purpose is achieved by indicating this information on people's passports. None. There's no societal benefit to American society or any foreign society at all. No one on the planet benefits from having their gender or their sex on their passport.
So why does my passport even have my name on it, Ted? My name is arbitrarily chosen.
I just said it doesn't
yeah,
need to.
Man.
No, I just said it doesn't need to. It
only
needs your ID.
I'm agreeing with you now. Yeah, man. Like I should just have some ID number.
Yeah.
Like, why do you need to know my name?
That's right,
bro. Why do you need to know my height? Why do you need to know what's in between my legs, man?
Like, no, I mean, and if there's no benefit,
the man doesn't need to know this shit about me.
There's potential harm, though. No, there's potential harm. That's like that can be. You're going to tell me that not one American citizen is going to be negatively impacted by this decision. Really? I mean, in a practical way. I don't care about their feces. I don't care about their feces at all.
There's no one decision from SCOTUS anywhere that means 100% safety for everybody. There's no such thing as 100% security for 100% of the people.
Yeah, but for a policy that doesn't serve any positive purpose.
Yeah, we're going to have to agree to disagree. If we talk about this another time, I know if Robbie were here, like he's got way more opinions. I'm just saying on legal documents, he's got way farther right opinions than I have. I'm just saying your legal documents should reflect the biological facts as descriptors of who you are. Otherwise, these social constructs of marriage or who can adopt kids or who should have children or whatever, I'm very left-leaning on those. I'm very like, marry who you want. As long as they're adults, none of you are pedophiles, none of you are abusive, have at it. I'll call you the Dalai. I'll call you the Pope. I don't care. I don't care.
Promise.
But legal documents, I just think should accurately reflect all of these true and factual biological markers of who you are and your legal name.
Well, if that right, then let's put people's DNA genome on all their passports while we're at it. And also the names of all of their pets. And this person has a gerbil.
You think all the people that have passports here in the United States, especially now with the little chip that's inside all of our passports, like I desperately wanted to cling on to my old passport, but we have no choice. Now they all have these fucking chips in them.
Yes,
do you really think that in the United States, all of us who have passports, that they don't have a full dossier of who each and every one of us are?
100% do, and so do most major countries. Maybe not when you go to a shithole country, but yes, mostly they do.
So we'll agree to disagree. I know sooner or later when Robbie's going to make a note of this,
God
He's
help
going to
us.
want to weigh in, and he's going to say that this is the right move, and then he's going to go even
Yeah.
farther than I am.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying,
that's
for
because
legal documents,
he
I think
doesn't
it's
like
fine.
trans people.
He does. He
And look,
doesn't.
and like, as you know, I think there's a lot of weird shit about, like, pronouns and everything, and I think it's like dumb, a lot of this
Right. I
conversation
don't
trying
even
to be
agree with Robbie not
like
wanting to use
literally.
the
I just sent
pronouns.
out a column this morning where
I'll call you
it's a
your
riff on
pronoun.
a
I don't
column.
care.
It's a riff on a piece that was written by a trans person named M. Gesson in the New York Times. And it was hard to write the fucking column and say, I didn't want to say they said this, they said that, because they's fucking plural. Okay. And it doesn't make
Yes,
any fucking
correct.
sense.
That's the only one I
Grammatically,
hate.
it hurts my fucking brain. And it's like, honestly, if I just wish there was a other word. Why didn't trans people come up with another new word
Right.
for
A
this?
new word.
And I know there's Z and stuff like that never caught on, but you guys need to have a trans convention and figure that out, right? But like, the point is, I'm not like, I also don't think that you really should be considered trans if it's just in your mind. Like, if I just say, hey, I'm Tedina now, call me Tedula, like, and I don't do anything. I don't cut off my dick. I don't I don't wear a wig. I don't do anything, and I'm just Tedina. I'm like, nah. And I don't believe in gender fluid. Like, oh, I was a chick at 8:00 this morning and now I'm a dog. And like, no, I don't believe in that either. Like, but the point is, this literally is hurt. If you have a policy that might hurt one person, but it serves no public policy interest whatsoever, then there's no reason to do it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we're going to agree to disagree. I don't think there's anything wrong with your legal documents aligning with
It
who
might
you
hurt
were
people for no
at
reason.
birth.
That's hurting people for no reason is a reason
My
not to do it.
I have my social security number gives me my credit
All
score.
right.
I have a bad credit score, and now I need to change my social security number because it hurts me, because it gives me higher interest rates.
All right, all right.
Just saying.
Cats.
Just saying.
This is a TED story. Cats are
This is a TED story.
That are adventurous animals that care little about the laws of man. They go where they please, when they please, but their habits can have very expensive consequences for their masters. Case in point, a cat owner from France's Rall region was shocked to learn of a complaint filed by her neighbor about her cat's frequent comings and goings on their property. In their complaint, the neighbor, whose name has not been disclosed because they would be doxxed and killed, mentioned paw prints on the stucco, urine on the duvet, and feces in the garden as damage caused by the ginger cat, Remy. The court sided with the plaintiff and fined the cat's owner, Dominique, €1,250, which is a lot, with additional penalties should the cat cross the fence again. When I received notification of the conviction, it was as if I had been violently struck on the head, Dominique told the French newspaper Le Parisien. Since the verdict, I've kept Remy at home. He's gained weight and become a fat fuck and become aggressive. I can't even put him in my garden for fear he'll jump the fence. Well, yeah, I mean, cats can jump fences. I mean, you need a fucking just build like a 10-foot fence and probably it'll work. It's as if he's been sentenced to house arrest, a kind of imprisonment and a double punishment. The 70-year-old cat owner points out that the neighbor couldn't prove that Remy had been guilty of trespassing when there are other cats, some stray, in the neighborhood, but the judge did not seem to care. Unfortunately, the story is far from over, as Dominique has been summoned to court again this coming December. Apparently, Remy crossed the fence again and could cost his owner an extra €2,000 or $2,300 and a daily penalty of €150 a day. The unusual legal battle attracted the attention of French animal rights groups, many of which believe that the court's decision infringes upon the rights of cats because they have this natural instinct to explore their surroundings. Well, first of all, this person is obviously worse than Adolf Hitler. and
Wait,
shows of
which person?
selling
The
combined.
owner or the neighbor?
No, obviously the neighbor. The obvious
Doesn't
Rall
like
is always on Team Cat, and so no
that's
matter what,
sad.
even when the cat is wrong, especially when the cat is wrong. But look, here's the thing: does the neighbor not own a fucking door or a window? Like, if you don't want the cat to come into your
Yeah,
house,
like
close
how does that?
close your fucking house. Put screens on the windows, which you should have anyway to keep out bugs. I mean,
That is weird. Like
what, you
I
just have
guess
an
I
open
skipped the
you just have an
duvet
open
part.
air house that, like, buffalo and can just like rampage through? That's like that's on you, bitch. Like,
Like
lock your house. And like, I mean, if I mean, granted, cats are
Remy
wily.
is pooping in her garden.
Well, and by the way, that's harmless. Cat poo in
No,
the
like
garden is no big deal. And cat poos are very small, and they disintegrate quickly in the rain. No
yeah, but
big
okay,
deal.
fine. Fine, your
Paw
neighbor's a
prints on the
bitch.
stucco, whatever. Fuck
Like
off.
that's dumb. But yeah, okay, fine. The neighbor's a bitch. Presumably, we
Urine
don't
on the
know. He didn't
duvet. The
die
duvet implies to me that it's indoors. No?
inside the house.
Who has
Yeah,
it? Who has an outdoor duvet?
I don't. I've never heard of that. However,
Feces in the garden is not
presumably,
damage. Feces in the damage is in the garden is you're welcome for the fertilizer.
I okay. I assume it's a woman. I don't know. I feel like
I'm
it's
sure it's a woman. No
two old
man,
ladies.
trans
Yeah,
or
it's,
otherwise, would
I
ever
feel like
complain
it's
about something like this.
two old ladies that don't like each other. Presumably, I
Agreed.
assume. However, however, what court, what judge, like, why would, what kind of asshole judge would rule like, and like now Dominique has to go back to court. Like, so Dominique has to pay over 1,200 euro for this particular case. But now
And that's
Dominique
a
has to
fuck
go
ton of
back
money,
and
really.
2,000 euro and then a daily, like, for what, every other trespass, like 150 euro. Like, what kind of judge? What the hell is going on in France, man? Like,
Well, it's obviously some small town, and the judge is obviously a philophobe,
dog
a
person,
virulent philophobe, probably a canophile, and
maybe.
should probably be not only removed from the bench post haste, but probably executed, sent to Devil's Island. I would
I'm
say
just so
would be a
like
minor thing to do.
I'm really sad for this old lady that she's probably like devastated. Like, how am I going to afford,
Well, not to
like
mention you can't really control. Yeah, and your
100
cat's getting. Well, I
euro?
mean, I'm sure the cat is very unhappy if it's an indoor outdoor cat, and then it can't go out anymore. I mean, of course it's going to be fucking miserable.
She said that Remy is like being a fat like jerk to her
Aggro,
now.
he's becoming a fat jerk. Yeah.
Oh, like this story's all
But
kinds of
also,
sad.
I'm honestly, the animal rights groups are correct. I mean, cats have a right to live in our world, and they roam, man. That's how it goes. I mean, I had this terrible story from my ex-wife told me that when she was a kid, that she had a beautiful German Shepherd. They lived on a ranch, like sort of out in rural California, Northern
Mhm.
California, and their dog kept going into the neighbor's ranch and attacking their sheep. And one day the farmer next door shot their dog to death. And
Oh my
I
god.
was like, so build a fucking better fence, asshole. I mean, it's like, now I know that's like the owner had every right to do that. The dog was a trespasser. They should have controlled their dog better. But it's like animals have a right to live too. I mean, so do sheep. But I mean, look, the cat is harmless except to birds and small mice. It's like, I don't know. It's just like, let it go.
The stray that I sort of adopted during COVID, we call her Tat, because my son couldn't say cat at the time, so he talked like Tweety Bird. So I said,
Cute.
what should we name the cat? And he said Tat, and I said, okay, Tat it is. So we call her Tat. Anyway, so she's an outdoor cat, but we've been feeding her for like 4 years, right? Like I got her a house that heats up in the winter, like when you step on the pad, like it senses the weight and it warms up her little cat house. And we feed her, take care of her, whatever, but she she roams all over, but this is her home. This backyard is her home. And the other day, she caught a mouse and ate some of it, and
as they do.
and brought the remains, which was like basically from like midsection down to my back door.
The pants.
She brought
Again,
old
you're
Jerry.
welcome.
She brought it to my back door to let me know, hey, I'm watching your property, lady. Thanks for feeding me all these years and keeping me warm.
Yeah, that means she likes you. So this
I
reminds me of
again, I'm a dog person, so I wasn't
you
sure.
remember the mayor of 9th Street, right? 7th Street
No.
story. 2009. Very famous New York City story. Here.
No, I wasn't in America.
I just pulled it up.
I don't even know what that is.
The deceased. This was from the New York Times, June 19th, 2009. Pretty Boy, the mayor of East 7th Street, a dignified white cat with a confident swagger and a distaste for rainy weather, passed at the age of 22. A local fixture for over a decade, making his rounds on the south side of the block between First Avenue and Avenue A as shops opened and closed and renters moved in and out. His death of natural causes has unleashed a storm of emotion. A business owner broke into tears at his mention. One young resident swept through a rehearsal for her kindergarten graduation. And Herbie, a disheveled supermodel of a cat who used to live with Pretty Boy at Mike's Pet Shop, has retreated behind bags of cat litter to grieve privately. Accounts differ on exactly when Pretty Boy appeared on the block. Mikey Diaz, owner of the pet store, said he had strutted in and leapt onto the counter shortly after the store opened in 1998. Pretty Boy started sleeping in the shop at night and was later joined by Herbie. During the day, Pretty Boy ventured a few doors down to the hair salon called Chatsy, where he perched on the reception counter and leapt onto the laps of customers. Some days, he swaggered through a Swiss restaurant on the block. But the turnover of shops on the block meant changes for Pretty Boy. Monique Simard, previous owner of Chatsy, said after she retired in 2004, Pretty Boy was no longer welcome. The new owners were allergic, and the Swiss restaurant closed. So in 2004, Pretty Boy moved over to Salon 7 down the block and began a new friendship with the owner, Mark Dolensky. And anyway, so it kind of like he hopped around from one business to the other. He also used to go around the corner to New York Central Art Supply, where I used to call French scratchboard, and he would like sprawl over the flat files, and people would feed him. Everyone thought he was their cat, but he was
everybody's cat.
He was a slut.
Yeah. Well, Tat is not a slut. She hangs out in my backyard, and she goes up the back terrace, and she sunbathes and whatever. She stays on my property, and then when other cats try to meander into the backyard, I always hear the and she's defending her home, man. Like, this is her home. She's very sweet. She's a sweet. I don't know what kind of cat she is, but I don't know if I've ever showed you a picture, but I don't know. But I don't know how old. I just know that I think she was somebody's pet that they got during COVID, because I'd never seen her before.
And she abandoned?
And then I think after the lockdowns ended, she appeared, and she was like probably like a adolescent cat at that age. And she was like skinny and scrawny, and her fur was like not nice. It was like her coat was kind of bad. So we took care of her, and then she, gave her good food and whatever, and slipped some nutrients into the food, and she's thriving. She looks great. Her coat is great, and I think she knows that we kind of rescued her, and this is her home. So I think she knows that. But yeah, like, she's a sweet.
Well,
we're allergic.
Thanks you.
So yeah, when I hear this story, I'm like, that's awful. Like, as much as I'm a dog person and I don't even know where Tat came from, I have no idea. She just started meandering to my yard, and she looked like a pathetic, sad little thing. Probably in 2021-ish. She just looked like a sad, pathetic little thing, and I felt bad for her. And so I started keeping food and water out for her. And little by little, like, what I'm saying, Ted, is I'm the neighbor you want if you have an indoor-outdoor cat, because I will
Yes,
be
you
nice
are.
to it. I will be nice to it, and I will not sue you for cat trespass. So anyway, we'll leave that there for the weekend. That's a sad story, but it's shitty, literally.
Yeah, she's a bad person. Yeah.
And
And it's
I bet
also lock
Remy.
your door, woman. And
Well, not only that,
dust. Oh, like paw prints on the parquet. Oh, so sad for
oh,
you.
my walls have have little paw prints. Like, what
Yeah,
kind of
your life is very hard. You're
like
like
what the hell?
the people of Gaza feel so sorry for you.
It's like, what the
Jesus
hell?
Christ.
Like,
Get
so
a
this is what
grip,
we've
woman.
learned is in France. Like, I can't believe that. I don't know what the law is there in this municipality. I don't know. That's crazy. I don't understand foreign countries' laws. Adrian 730 says the French love sad stories. Is that a thing?
That of
So they
course it is. Like think about
oh
every French movie, Jules and Jim, everyone always dies. Hope that's not a
oh
spoiler
that's
alert.
true. That's true. Oh boy. Yeah, I guess so. This is sad. A cat, you're not going to allow cats to just be animal. Like this is shitty. But anyway, the fun story is, Ted, the long arm of the law has nothing on a Footlong sub.
Well, that's
That is
right.
the
I recommend
takeaway
like
today.
that woman, the cat hater, from Rall. If she shows up in DC, she might just get a footlong tossed at her.
Yeah. How do I pronounce Rall?
Rall. Yeah,
Rall.
you don't pronounce the H. So imagine the H doesn't exist, and it's that E accent aigu, that accent that goes up. That's A. So it's Rall.
Rall.
Ah, that was nice.
So
well done.
Neighbor in Rall, you are le bitch.
La garce. That's French for bitch.
Oh, is that what it is? Tell us again.
Garce. Garce. Mm-hmm.
Garce. You are le garce.
That's it.
That's from everybody in the Rumble and streaming. Everybody. Like, we're like, you suck. Anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Let us know your thoughts, comments. Make sure you hit the like button. Leave us some comments. Or, of course, Ted, have you been looking at our mailbox? I don't think anything's come through.
Oh, fuck. I haven't been looking. All right, I'll look. I'm a bad man. I'll take care of it.
You're in charge of this mailbox.
I apologize. I'm guilty. I
God, Ted.
I admit when I'm wrong. It doesn't happen often, but I do.
So there it is. TMI Show question at yahoo.com. Sooner or later, Ted will open the mailbox.
I will. I'll do it. I'll do it this afternoon. Okay. I'm sure there's lots of good stuff in there. Bye.
Have a great weekend,
everybody.
We'll
Bye,
see you
Manila.
on Monday. Adios, Ted. Adios, amigos. Bye.